fam, and welcome back to the next episode. I'm so excited to have you here once again. This has been a fun journey, and I'm glad to see your smiling faces yet again. You're probably not smiling, but maybe, just maybe, throughout this episode, you might smile just once, and that's all I ask, just once. Even if it's fake it till you make it, right? Anywho, enough of that. Hey, look, we got a new steam engine. So slowly but surely, we were using up all the power, right? Each chapter, we're adding more and more machines. Whoa, well, a few too many times there, bud. So our network strain here, we were getting up there. We were using 157. Or sorry, we were using, what's that, about 120. And this guy's only producing 140. So yeah, we only had like 20 left. So I went ahead and created another steam engine. And if you want to see the process of that, please do check out my YouTube shorts. I just have a real brief tutorial on how I made this guy. It's if you're familiar with Create, it's pretty simple. The only thing in this whole process right here that's not base Create is the porcelain crucible. Well, I guess the cobblestone generator, the whole lava system, right? Normally you would either have to have lava coming in from the nether, from an infinite lava source that you're piping in from the nether one way, whether it's a train or a buckets through the portals or whatever, or you've created an infinite lava source in your world nearby, or maybe you're using coal and you have a tree farm nearby. Anywho, I'm just using the tools available to me. This cobblestone generator with the porcelain crucible is excellent for this. It keeps up no problem. So, and this is just a tier 1. So besides that, the rest of this is just a basic steam engine from base Create mod. So yeah, please check out the YouTube shorts for that. And it's not quite there yet. It hasn't been running very long. So once this last burner gets going, we should have enough steam. Oh, also I need to crank up the water wheels so we pump just a hair more water in, and then we'll be full blast. But no worries, that's all good. Also, I wanted to, you may have noticed, I've been slowly but surely adding stone brick around the base, and that's because they're the same cost and they look way better. I don't know why I haven't been using them from the beginning. I decided I was going to create a basement, and this I felt like was a good opportunity to start using the stone brick slabs. So as I add more or replace slabs up here, I've been replacing them with stone brick, but then this whole basement will be these ones. So this basement's going to extend the whole distance of the top floor. That way we can easily get to all of our different machines and stuff, right? Just makes it easier to do maintenance on all of these and get them set up and all that fun stuff. Our little explodey farm, which is still running. I have just a quick little access here. When I was setting all this up, you can actually see remnants of it. I had to go up and down, up and down, up and down. And I was using these to go back and forth, and so yeah. That's why those are there, but that's all done. Yeah, so my goal for this episode is to finish this basement, at least just the floor, because it's going to be useful. And underneath the steam engines, which is right over here, we're going to start doing power using the power mod. So I plan to have all my mechanical energy or mechanical force up here, and then right below it, we're going to have all the power stuff, because pretty soon we're going to need Fe, right? We're going to need a lot of it. Last episode, I lied. I said that now that we finished chapter 4, we can get started on digital storage. Well, that wasn't quite true, because in order to get started on AE2 stuff, we actually need these logic processors. Well, all the processors. And these are going to be done in this chapter that we're doing right now. So here's the chapter 5 stuff. It looks like a lot. I actually have a pretty good game plan, I think. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot. Famous last words, right? I always say that at work. I'm like, oh yeah, this is simple. We'll have it done in no time. And then 2 weeks later, we're still working on it. But yeah, this won't take too long. So I'm going to break it up, do that. And then I'm also going to finish the basement, which with the wand, I don't think should take too long. I actually think I can make an infinite wand. Let me see what that requires. Oh yeah, another star? Psh, easy, right? We should have. Oh yeah, look at that. We have fragments already and some wither roses. Squirrel, right? Need to focus. So we're gonna do the basement. We're gonna set up power over here, and then the other thing is I really want to automate using stock links and factor gauges, sort of like how we did here. Which I increased all these, but I think we're out of material. Yeah, I need to come fill these up. But I want to have a stock of these. So there should always be like say 32 of these available at each stage. So that one there was plenty because I've been putting a bunch in there. But if we come over here, let's say I want to grab a few of these. Well, I don't have any. So then I'm like, oh, I need a few of these to put in over here. And it's like I'm here and oh crap, I only have 6 of them. Oh crap, I only have 0 of them. Right. So using stock links and factory gauges, I can keep 32 or 64 or however many in stock at all times. So I'm going to start doing that. And we're going to do that this episode. And I'll just give you a quick rundown of how I do it in case you have questions and want to do something similar. But that's about it. So enough of the jibber jabbery dibbery dabbery. Let's go ahead and get going. Oh, one thing about the power, which I did want to mention because I thought is kind of cool, is there's different tiers. And at each tier, they either, if it's a cable, it can store or hold or generate, not generate, but it can transmit more power, right? Each tier does more, whatever it is, hold power or generate more. And the way this mod pack is set up is it's based on each chapter. So the end goal item is what gates you at that tier level so you can't go higher. Like right now, we can go to this level, the inductive battery, but we cannot do the calculation until we get to the end of chapter 5. Right? And so far I'm behind because I haven't been doing any power stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get caught up this chapter. So I should be able to make the inductive of each item, like the battery, the energizing rods. There they are, yeah. The energizing rods, the energy cells, all this stuff, I should be able to make the inductive level. And then once we get done with chapter 5, then I can just go through and upgrade all of them to the calculation level. So that's also my plan, is just to keep up with the power demand by keeping up on the tiers of power. Cool. So let's do it. No more talking and let's just get some work done. Okay, so here's how I did it, or planned to do it. Oh yeah, that worked. That was quick. So I have the factory gauge here. It's linked to my main storage. It's monitoring what's in this drawer, right? I have it set to 64. And then here, the sending to, that says, okay, send, in order to restock this, send it to kinetic mech R. That's this frog right here. So the package will come in here. It'll unpackage here and shove into this drawer. Now this would just keep running until this drawer is full, or this does keep running until this drawer is full. But I put a iron downgrade in here. So this drawer can only hold 64. I think that's good enough. All right, these kinetic ones, these are the very first ones we ever set up. Those I just let run until the drawer is full, which the drawer will hold whatever it is, 2000. Because they're kind of slow, and that's just the base one. But these are actually pretty fast as long as all the items are in stock, which they usually stay in stock pretty good. So if I take, say, 64 out, it fills this up from this drawer, and then this stock link's like, oh, we need more, so it requests it from over there. Functional storage knows about them, and then it refills it. So as long as these are attached to my functional storage, when I go do the next line, right, the ones from chapter 3, or 2, I'm sorry, chapter 3, yeah, it will pull from here using functional storage and then fill that one. It's pretty quick. And then, so this, as long as this is linked to functional storage, on the next layer, which was up here, so then the next level, when it needs to restock this guy, it'll know where to pull from. And functional storage will pull out of that one, it'll deliver to here and go into here. So we'll run through that real quick. So these are already linked to my main storage. I just drop one there. I've set the item I want there. I hold it. I want 64. But before we do that, we need to put a downgrade in here. Is that one linked? Yeah, that one's already linked. And then we need an iron downgrade. Okay. That way it won't just keep filling and keep filling. I think 64 is plenty. But, all right, so notice it's red and it has the inactive. It's missing a target address. So we just need to tell it. So it's sealed mech R. So we just need to say sealed mech R. And there we go. And now it'll pull out of functional storage. Come down here and it'll drop them in there. And then these will just go right down the line to make enough. Let's forget how pretty the skybox is. Not falling off this time, I promise. This is going to be power zone, I guess, right here. Storage is... Oh, wait, no. Storage is right above me, I believe. There's that one. Yeah, we'll do it right here. And then water source. Okay. And this will be water. All right. Did you see how much that bad boy is producing? Oh. Okay. Thermo is off the list. Aha. Just gotta pump her on in. All right. This is super jank. So this obelisk stores my levels. And then they get pumped via this into this bad boy, and then he's connected to the power. And then I had this in there with a vial, but they're just filled with monsters, so I get a monster token. I need a player token. This needs to be filled with player data, but I don't know how to get that. How do I get that? Oh, it's a villager. Oh, I am so slow. It says right there. Holy Toledos. Why don't you pay more attention? Okay, villager. We need a villager. How do we get a villager? Let's get a villager. Yeah. All right. Oh, wait. You're right there. Okay. Please tell me it's player. Yes. Okay. Now we can make this guy. Okay. Now, if we stick you up there. Yep. Now I forever have energy, even though I don't have anything that requires power. But so what I did was I have this player transmitter. It's connected to this ender cell, which will come in handy when we start getting into wireless power using the gates. Those are connected to two different thermo generators, which are sitting on top of red matter blocks. Then I got water pumping into those, so they're staying full of coolant. This one's drained because it's filling up this guy, but once these two are full, then this will fill up. This one's it's not sharing. It's all coming out of here, which is fine. I think I'll use cables soon to fix that, but yeah, and then I made this binding card. Right now it only works in this dimension, which is fine because I don't go to the end. I will go other dimensions soon. I just need to click a Enderman to get it to other dimensions. But I put that in there. Or first off, you right click it. That binds it to you. Then you put it in here, and now that will wirelessly transmit power to you. So I don't have anything that needs power. But once we get to the deep learner and we start using AE stuff, then we will. But for now, that doesn't matter. But that's cool just because I can now have wireless power to my player. And this is filling up. Yep, everything's full. So this is set to channel 1. I have 3 different channels with this one. With the gates, I'll probably only use one channel. Here's my plan. All right, let's review this real quick. I want to do for this line. Okay, let me back up. We need this real quick. So I already have Certus quartz right here. Okay, I'm going to add that to the functional storage. So as long as I keep this stocked up, we should have plenty, right? Because once this is full of charge, this will just back up because it's barely getting used anymore since most of this isn't being used since everything's full. We're 64, 64, right? Okay, sweet. So yeah, as long as this stays pretty much full, and I'll keep an eye on it, and I can, if we're really going through this, I'll just add an EMC link. But for now, I'm just going to keep it stocked up. I would like to do something similar for these two lines. We need gold and we need diamond. Now I could put them back there, but since we use gold and diamond here, and I have a bunch in my main storage, I kind of want to pull this stuff out, at least these four right here. I want to pull them out and put them right over here as part of like a functional storage network wall. And we're back. Okay. So now these are single drawers. They've been re-added to the network. No, shoot. We went over this. Here's the problem. We need a repackager if we're going to do it this way. All right. So I had kind of said that this was maybe worth a whole nother tutorial doing the repackager. I did not make that tutorial. I just kind of threw it together real quick because it was interfering with what I wanted to do. So I needed to make it. Now, I think it would have had it working without this funnel right here, with just having the chute go straight into here, but I kind of messed it up, and then I realized it after I had the funnel or the chute, and I was just like, whatever. It's working. I don't care. Thankfully, I had it. Thankfully, I had enough room up above, so it's kind of janky. But basically what happens is the frog gets packaged regardless of where it's addressed. It comes into this barrel. The barrel, or the repackager, pulls from that barrel. It somehow knows the different addresses, right? And so once it has all the items for a specific craft, it waits. So the reason for the barrel is there may be 3 different items, 3 different packages, all for one craft, right? So those will all come to the barrel, and then this repackager will wait till they all arrive, and then it'll repackage them all together into a single package. That'll get delivered down into here, and then just like normal, that single package will get unpackaged here, and then go into here as a craft. And that works. So the whole reason for this was because I want to pull diamonds, emeralds, all that out. Oh, I had a bit of a mess, as you've probably seen. I want to pull all my precious minerals, whatever you want to call them, my shinies, out of here and put them into a drawer network along the side here. So I was like, oh, that's genius. Then they won't take up storage in there. They'll look good out here. But the problem was, and we already went through this like last episode or 2 episodes ago, and I didn't learn my lesson. But what was happening was, if I needed a diamond from here, it was getting pulled out of functional storage. So this guy was pulling it. It was getting packaged separately from the rest of the craft that was coming from this guy. So then it was coming over here, and they were 2 different packages. And then the single packager didn't know what to do with it, and it was breaking the craft. So I think now that I have the repackager working, I believe I can just pull, like, what I want to do is just pull all these out and put them right here. I already have this linked to my functional storage. So now when we need emeralds, they'll get pulled from there. And same with diamonds. Toss them in. So we can still see the same amount because all the storages are linked, right? But they should get pulled from there. And then these, well, wait. These are probably all messed up because I messed up a crap ton of packages. So it's waiting indefinitely for packages that are never going to arrive. So I'm just going to reset all of these. And then it can submit them if it still needs them. Yep, off it goes. So there was 2 separate deliveries. They should get repackaged. Oh, look at that. And they did. Okay, that worked. So let me show you. The whole point of that was because we want to set up this guy right here, probably about right here, and then this guy on top. We're going to link him to our network. Now here's a problem. In my testing, I don't know how. So I can lock this. I'll just show you. I can lock this and I can say I only want. So I can put obtruse waste in here. Oh, I don't know if it's a bug or what. So when it's locked, I can't put anything in. Unlike a drawer where it's locked, I can put it in. But anyway, okay, so whether it's locked or unlocked, if I put a puller card in here and I say pull from the top or pull from up, it won't pull it. The reason being is it's trying to pull that molten ender. Now, if I use pipes that have a filter, like the pipes mod, I can specify the fluid and it will only pull that. I also tried the smart fluid pipe. The problem with it is I can't filter the fluid itself. I can only filter the bucket of fluid. Like that. But I can't right click just to filter the fluid itself. And this does not work. I tried. Misa tried. Yeah, this don't work. If I remove that, it will pump the molten ender. Don't believe me? Let's do it. Molten ender. There we go. So the way I found around this is to make sure that molten ender just isn't in the system. That's dumb, I know. It's a temporary fix. Once we have pipes, which we will be able to get at the end of this chapter. Once we have the pipes mod, I can properly filter off of the waste itself, not buckets of waste. And then we'll be good to go. If you're watching this and you know what I'm doing wrong here, please do leave me a comment and let me know. Okay. The way this gonna work is we're gonna just extract everything. And then we're gonna filter on each one of these. So if we throw in a filter there, and a filter there, and a filter there. Now, when these lines come out, we got Certus, gold, diamond. So we'll do Certus, gold, diamond. Okay. And then we just need to set the filter. So this will be, oh, and then these filters are dumb. You have to have the items. So we need a diamond, need a gold bar, and we need a Certus. So Certus, gold, and diamond, right? I do believe Certus, gold, diamond. Okay. And then all that's left is to toss a extractor right there. And we want it to come from the controller. And as you can see, extracting. The pipes are slow, so it'll do one at a time, but that's fine. I don't care. Okay. We have the molten stuff ready to rock. I love that it's see-through. And you can see the ingots in there. Or whatever. Yeah. The nuggets? No, ingots. The things. No, that one's a crystal. Whatever. I like it. It's cool. Alright, well. This is mostly automated. I don't know how to prevent this from being pulled into the pipe. These filters don't seem to give a darn about this. So, this works while if it's backed up just enough, it can't pull this until this is free, and that works. But once this is empty, and then it's no longer backed up, then it will fail. So it's fine. I just have to kind of like kickstart it every time I want a bunch of them, but that's fine. Whatever. I'm just gonna say it's mostly done, and we're good for now. So I have a pipe running out. Just this is very temporary. I didn't want to keep filling with buckets because I'm doing 9 of each of these. The reason being is we can do 9 oinks at a time. Oh, sorry, right here. If we create 9 of these wafers, we can create 9, or we can create this wafer. So we can do 9 at a time, and it'll make creating these much faster, I think. So that's the plan, but that means we need these bad boys. We need 9 of these, and that's 9 buckets. So I could go back and forth doing it 9 for each, 9 diamonds, 9 gold, 9 Certus, but I decided to be lazy. It probably took me longer to set up this pipe system than it would have if I had just ran back and forth with buckets. The cool thing is now that I have wireless power, or now that I have electricity, I just threw together an ender gate real quick and tossed that on here. But while we wait for that, that one's just about done. We'll run through this line right fast. We kind of went over it before, but we're getting the coke from our other system. It's coming out of this guy. We're making coke on one of these lines over there, right? So we're just pulling it out of our drawer network. And the formula for it is cut, splurt water, and then we get the coke chunks. There's no good way to filter, not with these. These don't work, even though you would think it would, because it says right there, progress 204, next cut with sauce. So this should only allow that to go, but it immediately, even though this is step 1 right here, it immediately pulls it out before it can splurt water, so it doesn't work. But what does work is once this gets going, these are slow enough that it sits on there long enough for this to splurt water before it gets pulled to the next. So it works good. The sand, we're pulling sand out of our drawer network. So that gets bonked into sandstone and gets dropped onto this basin. There's water under here. This is getting washed into the ball of sand, and then it's getting cut into the sand chunk, and then it's getting sifted into the purified sand, and then that's getting mixed with the coke right here to make these silicone compounds. And then once those are blast furnace, you can see it down there, once those are blast furnace, that turns into the silicone. Then I'm using a little compacting drawer to instantly turn that into blocks of silicone and push up to this drawer. And that's where we're at. Okay, that is real clean. I like that. So this obtruse waste is from last chapter. That's the paintballs, right? Control our access point. We've gone over. This is where I have the drawer network, the diamonds, the Certus, and the gold. Those are all from the network. They're being pulled out through the pity pipes and filters. And then with this pump, we're just pumping the obtruse waste into the seared tanks. We have the silicon, the wafers in here. Sorry, not the silicon. We have the inscriber wafers in here, and then just a simple timer. That's every time it gets a redstone, it starts them up. We need to speed this up though. I think it's time we upgrade these bad boys. Okay, much faster. And then just it gets the redstone signal from the timer, and that causes the faucets to pour over the molds or the wafers, whatever you want to call them, the presses. And then these drawers just pull them off of the table, and that's it. Okay, now we have the silicone wafers, and then we have all the circuit wafers. So we have calculation here, that's Certus. We have logic wafer, that's gold. And then we have engineering, that's diamond. Now we just need to combine them. Alrighty then. This is coming along nicely. So our wafers are getting pushed into these depots. They're getting pushed into these deployers. The oh, you're empty. The silicone ones are being pushed onto the depot. They're hit with the deployer, which has the calculation, logic, and engineering circuit wafers. That turns them into the broken ones. And then the broken ones get pushed onto these depots. And then on these depots, there'll be these. And then from here, we just need to pipe this stuff. Look at that. So we now have engineering processor wafer, logic processor wafer, and we now have a calculation processor wafer. We are golden. Made by filling a respective broken circuit with revolting waste using a spout. Those are all the same. Cool. Okay. All that's left is to combine them all in an assembly line. Okay. This I must admit, this might be one of my finest pieces of work. Okay. So we got these guys. They're creating these wafers, right? We kind of went through this. The obtruse waste splurts down onto the broken wafers. It finalizes the circuit wafer. Those get pushed into these drawers. These drawers are part of our functional storage. So that frog right there, he knows about them. Well, the whole storage network knows about them because it's connected to that, right? So I set up this little board here. I wanted to make it symmetrical. I could have got away with just two, but bear with me. So I said, okay, this guy, he's connected. I did a new connection. It's connected to this. And then I said, to make these, send it to Circuit Crafter. That's this guy. He unpackages them and sends them. All you need is one crafter, and it'll unpackage, or it'll uncraft essentially this 9x wafer into 9 individual processors. So that's how we're going to keep these in stock in the more space efficient, but then also keep, I was thinking just like 5 stacks of these also, so that they're easily accessible. Actually, I might, you know, I'm just gonna do 64 because why not? We got way too many of these, of course. I need to finish setting these up. So basically all I do is add a new connection, connect it to there. Whoops, tell it I want 64. And then in order to get that 64, I need to send it to Circuit Crafter. And that's this frog right here. And then you'll see him send it out there, and then he'll pick it up and he'll craft it into there. And that's it. That's how that works. And then we'll do the same here. I must admit, I really like this. I'm pretty proud of this little. This is taking advantage of, obviously, Create Mod version 6 or update 6 or whatever you want to call it. But also the drawers. We got the clean storage drawers here. I have downgrades in here so that there's only 64 of these stored. I want them to start backing up so that these will start filling up, because I'm having a problem where these aren't, but we'll get there. Oh, I also put a press funnel. It says only let out 64 at a time because it was letting out one at a time, and cooking them, just that was taking forever. It'll cook a lot faster if it's 64. I may do more like 16. I think actually it's probably a little smarter because these don't cook, or these don't create quite that fast. Ho, 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 ho. There it is. There it is. Do you see it? Oh, I grabbed one. Okay. Finally. So this chapter actually was not bad. It was that I did not read directions very well. Okay, I did. I just was trying to get ahead. But anywho, okay. I'm trying to get a close in. There we go. It's a glob of pixels. Looks good, huh? I like it. like it. I like it a lot. It looks like a shoe, a clog. That's what it is. Calculation. Now this bad boy, now I'm not lying when I say we can finally get ourselves into some digital storage. We can get into some laser IO as well. That's exciting. We can upgrade all of our power stuff to the next tier. That's cool. Let's check this off of our list, huh? You have to keep expanding the factory. They just keep telling you what to do. Now let's see, how do we make the final machine for this chapter? So far, no matter how close. Age closing machine from chapter 5. All right, let's see. What do we need? We need fluix casing, which is, oh, we're finally getting into some fluix crystal. That right there tells me it's AE2 time, some digital storage time. There we go. I'm just gonna make a bunch of it just because we can. There's the fluix casing. I wonder what else can we use you for? Let's have a look. Looks like that's it. It's just used for the calculation machine. Cool. I have storage drawers set up over here with, I mean, more than what's needed for this chapter, but I have gold. That's gold. Diamond. Some other stuff, but gold and diamond. And then we set the Certus, the Certus up quite a while ago. Okay, so this control access point pulls those out of the drawers. For the diamonds, gold, and Certus, it puts them into these seared melters. The Certus requires the obtruse waste to melt it. The diamond requires something hotter than lava. The obtruse waste works for that. And then gold requires pretty much anything, but obtruse works for it as well. So we just using the controller access point, pull the obtruse waste, which is being generated over there from the paint. We just pull that and pump it into these seared melters, the seared fuel tanks, and then the melters melt down the diamonds, gold, and Certus. Those then pour into these tables, which have our casting dies in them, which are the logic, engineering, and calculation presses. And these create those 9x9 or 3x3, the 9 times wafers. Just like before, we have the little timer that every 2 seconds or 40 ticks, it sends a signal to release the fluid. That cools and then gets pulled into these drawers. The drawers then pipe up into the deployers. The deployers, those have those wafers in them. And then below there is a pipe network, the pretty pipes with the silicone wafers. Those get pushed onto the depots and then they boink. And that creates these broken ones. The broken ones get pulled from there into these drawer networks. And then they get put onto these depots, and then those depots get splurted with more obtruse waste. Same pipes, I just have it running underground. And then those get turned into regular old wafers, regular old, what are they called? Yeah, they're wafers, the logic processor. So this is the completed end item. Now the problem is, I did the 3x3, or the 9, because I thought it would be more efficient. And it is, but you can't create the end goal item with these 3x3s. They have to be broken down. So that added a little bit of extra work, and that's where this cool system comes into play. We have the, we have this block of cardboard system with more factory gauges that just keep 64 in stock. And then the pipes just then filter. It pulls everything out of here, right? And then I have a filter going into each deployer. And those go into these deployers and then magnets on the end, and it turns those into those. All that's left is to do just like I did over here with a factory gauge to keep at least 64 in stock so that we always have 64 ready to go. Fantastical, you know? Okay. Oh, there's the music I'm always looking for. I love that. Okay. There's the end machine for chapter 5. Boy, is that what we're on? Yeah, chapter 5, calculation age. It is called fittingly enough, the calculation machine. Oh, nice. You made it. Now you can make an ME system. Oh, praise the Lord. We want an ME system very much. I mean, actually, I don't mind it. Now that I think about it, I really like the system we got going on. With functional drawers and create, it's been pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, I like what we got going on, so we'll see. I am definitely gonna be setting up an ME system, but I don't know how much we'll use it. End game, it's probably the best system, but I kind of like what we got going on, so I don't know. We'll see. It would save us some time because I don't have to run back and forth to storage, right? It's especially if I set up the wireless crafting, I can just do everything instead of trying to make sure it's in my backpack or going and getting it. I can just do everything remotely, so there's that, but that's neither here nor there. That's not today's agenda. I really appreciate you joining us for another episode. This was chapter 5, the calculation stage, calculation machine, calculation whatever. Once again, I appreciate you joining me for this adventure. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please do leave a comment. Subscribe the video, and let's chat down in the comments. And I guess I'll just see you in the next episode. Love you, bye.